Hello and welcome to Mr.ClixFlix. I'm your host as always, Mr. Clicks, working every day to bring you the best HeroClix channel available on YouTube. And in today's video, I'm just going to go ahead and do a battle report for you guys. My venue was lucky enough to get the holiday figures that WizKids put out. So this past Saturday, they held a tournament and winner got their choice of them. So the build restrictions were no figure over 100 points, no team bases, no relics or resources, no vehicles, and what was the other thing? Oh, and your team had to be themed. So the team I ended up going with was Hank Pym from Chaos Wars, Doctor Strange from Amazing Spider-Man, and Iron Fist from Fear Itself for a Defenders theme team. And I also threw on Scatty's Warbot and Damage Warbot just because I had some points to fill in and didn't have really another defender that could that was that point level. And I also threw on the Defenders ATA. So basically how this team worked is at the beginning of the game I'd have Doctor Strange pick Defenders, and then I'd move Hank Pym and turn him into Ant-Man. So now everybody on my team with the Defenders team ability that was adjacent to Doctor Strange would have the 20 defense that Ant-Man had. Now the Defenders ATA makes it so that people with the Defenders keyword share an attack value also. So Doctor Strange and Iron Fist shared Iron Fist's 11 attack value. So basically Doctor Strange and Iron Fist had an 11 attack, 20 defense unless something happened to Ant-Man or Iron Fist. And the nice thing is, too, is since Doctor Strange is a flyer and Ant-Man has the tiny symbol, Doctor Strange could carry both Ant-Man and Iron Fist so that I could keep them in a nice little grouping so that, you know, I could make use of my team abilities and additional team abilities. So let's go ahead and talk about how this team did. My first match, I played against an Avengers team with the Avengers movie Hawkeye and some other things. I don't really remember what it was. It was the Avengers movie. He had the Avengers movie Hawkeye, Iron Man 3, Iron Man, Avengers movie Captain America, and Black Widow, but I can't remember which one. And he might have had a Scarlet Witch or was the next guy. Because I played two guys that did Avengers theme right in a row. So that's why I'm kind of getting a little confused. But anyway, that Avengers movie Hawkeye was kind of tough. But I took him out. Scatty's Warbot, I TK'd her out right away. To try to running shot Psychic Blast, and he crit missed. So that knocked her out. And then... what else did I do? Then Damaged Warbot. He lasted a little bit longer, but he didn't do anything. I don't think he... Oh, no, he did. He hit the Tony Stark from Iron Man 3. The cool thing was, too, and I didn't figure this out until I got into the game, was that the Defender's team ability replaces defensive value. And then combat reflexes on Iron Fist modifies. So Iron Fist, if you place him adjacent, would really have a 22 defense because he gets the 20 that he shares with Ant-Man and then another 2 for combat reflexes. So I'd just pretty much place my figures so that Ant-Man hung out in the back, Iron Fist was tying up, and then Doctor Strange was back a little bit. And I'd normally push him to his second click so he'd have Psychic Blast. So I'd be able to Psychic Blast from 1 or 2 squares away, Iron Fist tying up, Ant-Man doing his job with keeping up that 20 defense. So I won that first match, although it was really tough. Like my opponent did a really good job positioning his figures, and basically got to the point where if any of us mismanaged our placement, you would have lost that one figure. But I ended up coming out on top just because once I figured out that Iron Fist had that 22 defense, he couldn't overcome it, and I saved my theme PCs for late game. So, if he did manage to roll, I think he was able to pump his defense up to a 12 a few times. But if he did manage to roll that 10 he needed, I just PC'd it, and he wasn't able to make it again. So that went pretty good. So I was 1-0 at that point, and I just lost the 2 pogs. So he got 40 points. And then the next match, like I said, was another Avengers theme, and he had sorry about that. He had the Marvel 10th Anniversary Thor, Shannon Carter. He had that Avengers movie Hawkeye, and I believe Scarlet Witch. And then he might have had something else too that I'm not thinking of. But I think he had that Avengers movie Captain America also. So played against him, and again, a really tough game. We both did a good job with placement. And, again, critical miss for nothing. And then he critical missed for nothing. So, the pogs, basically, I'll just let you guys know, all day these did nothing for me. I'm not sure if I'll run them again. Like, they have really good stats, but I don't know. My dice rolls were actually pretty bad for this tournament all day. The only thing that saved me was the 20 defense so that I could, I probably only hit like 1 out of every 6 rolls. So, for 5 rolls, I had to lean on that defense. So these guys didn't do too much. Maybe I'll try to run them again and see if I just had a bad luck day, but I wasn't really that impressed with them. But anyway, we fought, we basically, me and my opponent in the second round just basically traded blows. I healed up Iron Fists, I think twice. Not up to full. I think the most I got was like a 4 on his regen rolls. But he stuck around a little longer. Doctor Strange, and then it was just Doctor Strange and Ant-Man for a little bit. And then Doctor Strange got knocked out. And then it came down to where it was Ant-Man versus Ant-Man at full power versus a Thor, I think on a second or third click. And he just kept in base and kept trying to flurry. All I kept doing was using Incapacitate. And then at the end of the game, he had Ant-Man knocked down to a 17 defense. So then I switched back to Hank Pym because he would have been on a one of those outwit clicks, outwitted his defense, and then hit him for 1 to knock him out. So won my second game, just barely though. I only had 175-point figure left. So then that brought me to the third round, and he was playing X-Men themed team. He had Jubilee, the Vampire Prime version, Longshot. Oh, who else did he have? He had a bunch of people, and I can't think of one of them. But the Skrull Wolverine, and from Marvel 10th Anniversary, and one other thing that I'm having trouble thinking of right now. But anyway, what basically happened in that one was I positioned good, and he just positioned better, and he was able to get to Ant-Man and get in a position to where Doctor Strange or Iron Fist couldn't PC his attack roll, and he only needed, I think, an 8 to hit Ant-Man. So he made his roll, he hit, got him down to a 17 defense. So at that point, I saw no use in using Ant-Man, so I switched to Wasp from Chaos Wars, and just rode the game out with him. And 17 defense didn't get me very far. I got crushed after that. I don't think I made any of my Super Senses rolls. Like I said, I had a pretty bad day at the office. I think I maybe made one Super Senses roll all day. Other than that, I was just leaning on that 20 defense, hoping nobody hit me, because I definitely wasn't rolling my way out of it. That's what my dice were telling me. So I ended up going 2-1, and I didn't win. The guy that beat me in the last round won, and he picked the White Lantern Batman, and good for him, because he had all the other White Lanterns from like DC 75th and stuff like that. So he now has a complete White Lantern set. But I did win Fellowship because everybody really liked my team, and Fellowship winner got to pick one prize from Fear itself. And since my venue, because of Pittsburgh Comic-Con last month, they had to move the day for their Fear itself, and I wasn't able to go. And so I wasn't able to compete for an Odin. So that was the figure that I selected, was Odin. So really happy and excited about that. So that's all I have for you guys today. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to view my HeroClix videos as they become available. And also please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.